Michelle Prince, founder and CEO of Performance Publishing Group, making a difference one story at a time. We'll be shining the light on successful founders, entrepreneurs, business owners, and leaders that are getting results and making a difference. We'll talk about how they built their businesses, are creating movements, and leveraging the power of authority in their own lives. Be sure to stick around to the end of the show and we'll reveal how you can be our next guest. Let's get started. Hey, welcome back everyone to the Power of Authority Spotlight. And I'm so excited to introduce you to my guest today because she's just a dynamic woman. We've had a chance to get to know each other just a little bit, and I so can relate to the balls that she juggles as a mom, a business owner, but there's just so much depth to her. Her name is Sabrina Cronin, and I'm definitely going to give her the opportunity to tell you more about her background. But I will say this: she is a true advocate and a champion for today's single working parent. She is a top Michigan-based attorney with over 20 years of legal experience and the founder of the Cronin Law Firm. And she's doing all kinds of things in that area we'll find out about. But in addition to that, she's also a motivational public speaker and is considered the shared parenting expert for her workshops to help families cope with co-parenting dilemmas in today's challenging environment. So I know a lot of you can understand and relate to that. So welcome to the show, Sabrina.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I'm so happy to be here today.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you. In fact, we were talking just a little bit before the show, and you and I could just kept going and going and going, but we
I know
Right?
there's always so much to talk about, but yes, I know for sure, especially relative to working moms and, all, like you said, all the juggles, and the things that, the dishes constantly juggling in the air and
Absolutely.
going on. Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, tell me more about your business, about your, how you got started, what made you want to be an attorney, all of that.
Well, gosh, I started my business about 10 years ago, and I didn't have any grand plan of having a business. I just thought, I can't keep meeting my clients in Starbucks anymore. So I decided to rent some office space, and I thought that was daunting. I was very nervous to do that. And I was married at the time, and I had just had my third child. So I was literally coming off of a very difficult pregnancy, and I subleased some space, and I just started getting busier and busier. And then I thought, okay, I need some help. And I decided to hire someone to help me. And then it just kind of, catapulted from there. And I slowly started taking over that little office that I had subleased. So I took over more and more space. And then I ended up opening up another office literally across the street. I built out a space. And then about 4 years ago, I expanded about 1,000 square feet. So now I have a nice size office space, and we employ about 13 people.
Wow.
And it just started with me, just organically growing a law firm out of just a deep desire to help people.
Yes. What kind of law do you practice? Or does your office, is it all kinds or?
The Cronin Law Firm handles a myriad of law. We do everything from family law, which in my office, it involves, custody matters, divorce, prenups, postnups, any kind of support issues. Yeah. And we do estate planning. So that's kind of under the umbrella of family law. And then from family law, we also do a lot of litigation. We do civil litigation of all types, business litigation, personal injury, transactional work as well, but some litigation that stems out of business transactional work as well. So we do a lot of litigation, and then we also do some criminal work. And so we have, three primary areas: business, litigation, and family law.
Okay. Wow.
I personally do a lot of family law and business work. So, but family law in and of itself is a lot of litigation. So we're pretty busy.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, because you're dealing with, I love that's what you specialize in, because is that why you have a passion for families and co-parenting? And have you seen firsthand, the effects of having to do family law, divorce?
Yeah. And all that? Well, over the years, my focus areas have shifted somewhat. I first started dealing with a lot of litigation, whether it was medical malpractice or insurance defense. So I did some family law in the beginning as well, some bankruptcy. So then over the years, because I was working for some larger law firms, and then I transitioned to in-house counsel. I was also an assistant prosecuting attorney for a while. So I've had a varied background. And when I opened my office, again, not having this grand plan, I felt comfortable taking lots of cases and different types of legal matters because I had done a lot of different things in my career. I didn't allow myself to get pigeonholed in one area that so many lawyers, that happens to so many of us out there, just out of necessity usually. But I really challenged myself. I remember jumping to the prosecutor's office, wanting that experience, wanting more courtroom experience, wanting that criminal background in the law, because I didn't have that. And I wanted to challenge myself, even though as a 13-year lawyer, I knew I had to start over. But I did that to challenge myself and get that experience and hone those trial skills, which it really, really did. And it also helped me by standing in the shoes of victims. It really, really helped me grow as a person, not only personally, but also legally and professionally. And then from there, I stepped back. I'm also a musician, so I took some time off, and I kind of did a stint in performing and lots of that for a while. And then I had children, and it just kind of evolved from there. And I love having my firm because I can really help people. And I believe that my law firm stands out from some others because we care very deeply about people. And that's really just stems from me and my upbringing.
Yes.
And I'm really a humanitarian, and I just want everyone out there to have the best life that they can. And so when I help people in their legal matters and with their legal matters, I also have a little bent of, personal coaching and consulting, because in order to change their outside circumstances, they really have to look inward. And I deal a lot of that with family law for sure. Sometimes business law, the top CEOs need personal development as well, right?
Yes.
Especially if someone's facing a major piece of litigation. I mean, that takes a toll. And so I've developed this outside, business of motivation and some of my workshops, because I do want to change people's lives for the better, not just during their piece of legal matter, their piece of litigation, but beyond into their future life, and to exist and to last and to be the best version of themselves.
Oh my gosh, I see it, and I can hear it in your voice, how passionate you are. And I mean, how fortunate are the people who work with you in your law firm that they, because you do really care. And I'm not saying other attorneys don't care, but, you maybe approach it in a different way. And I think that speaks volumes.
Thank you. And I do care. And there are a lot of lawyers out there that are just much more black and white and, practical in their approach. And that's fine. And some clients really just want that. But if you really want to change your life for the better, then I can really help you. And that's why I developed some of my workshops. And I also want to help effectuate change in the legal system, because so many of the family law judges in the court system, they don't have the time and the resources to invest in each litigant. It's just way too overcrowded, overpowered. I mean, there's so many divorces and so many families going through all these crises. And I mean, here we are dealing with trying to split custody in abusive situations, or in situations where the parents are using their children as pawns, or the children are getting abused or neglected. And judges just don't have the time or the resources. And so I was really hoping that my workshops could help the court system with developing a better way of having these parents learn how to co-parent so the children don't suffer. I mean, children are suffering enough as it is in today's day and age. They don't need to add on the stresses of their parents' divorce to their plate, because I mean, the uptick in, juvenile suicide attempts and suicides, it's horrible. The cutting, the depression, the anxiety, we don't need our kids going through anymore. And for parents to put that on them, in my opinion, it's heartbreaking. And I really want to help better our society in that regard.
Wow. Yeah, I am, and you see it day in and day out, and gosh, that's got to be heartbreaking. But you are creating change because you're helping people and giving them hope. And I love that you're incorporating the motivational personal development side. That's my passion. I don't know how much of my backstory you know, but that's just
Yes, it is.
we need that, and
It's everything.
it is.
It's everything. If you want to change your outside circumstances, you first have to look within.
Yes.
Because you are the one creating your reality. And that's why people repeat patterns that they do from this, it might be packaged differently, but they end up with the same person, just
Right.
in a different, face, a different body. But it's the same circumstances that end up developing because it's you. Unless you change you,
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to change who you are drawn to and attracting in your life, whether it's friendships, relationships, lovers, whatever it is in your life.
Yeah.
Business partnerships, everything.
So as you know, I love story, and I love that. And I do truly believe that our stories are, our life stories. It's what inspires other people. So how are you incorporating your story, your journey? I mean, you're an attorney, but there's obviously much more to you than that. So what's your story?
Well, I came from a very strict upbringing. Both my parents are of Lebanese origin. My father has passed about 8 years ago, and he was a very, very traditional, hard driving Lebanese man that, really had no place for women. So women were very, looked upon very negatively, very subservient. And we were just meant for one purpose, to please their man. So I was raised in that environment. My father wanted me to go to the best schools, get the best education, be the best I could be, but then I only had a purpose, right? So,
Yes.
so I was raised in a very domineering household, and it took me a very, very long time to have my voice. I've been married twice. I had 2 very long-term marriages, and I didn't date a lot. And so I ended up marrying, basically my first marriage was a lot of like my upbringing.
Yes.
And that was very hard for me. And then my second marriage, there was also a lot of dysfunction, and it was very, very difficult. I did have my children with my second husband, and I had to do a lot of soul searching and a lot of personal development to get myself to extricate myself from that toxic. It was a very toxic relationship.
Okay.
And the healthier that I am with boundaries and everything, actually, that is why I'm so, in addition to my legal and my professional life, I'm very passionate about co-parenting because I live it every day. And I say, if I can co-parent beautifully with my ex, anybody can, because I truly had to do a lot of soul searching and a lot of pulling myself up from my own bootstraps to be able to co-parent with this man who, we had a lot of difficulty in our relationship. And I don't, someday I'm going to, like I told you, I'm going to write a book, and you'll be able to read all about my personal stuff in that book. But for now, suffice it to say that I really had to forgive and let go a lot in order to be able to see this man every day and co-parent and have my children be as healthy as they can be. And my children are thriving. And I'm so blessed to have that.
Wow.
And it takes a very strong person to be able to do that and co-parent. And I got some criticism for being super kind to my ex, a lot of criticism, actually from my family, from my mother, especially, and my brothers. But I am now so happy and glad for my children. And we have a nice friendship, and we co-parent beautifully together, and we get along, and we stay out of the courts, because the courts are no place to decide your fate and how you should deal with your children, because they don't know you. You know you, and you know your children, and you know your ex better than anybody.
Right.
So it takes a lot of personal development and growth and forgiveness and patience and boundaries and self-reflection and caring. Just so much goes
Oh
into it
my gosh.
to
Yeah.
be the strongest person that you can be to live a better life. So in a nutshell, Michelle, that's really my story.
Wow. And do you know how many women are out there right now that, in fact, I can think of many of my friends who are divorced and they don't have that relationship, or they don't have that co-parenting. It's really, really difficult. And it only people it affects are the kids. And
Right.
but when there's so much anger and there's so much hurt, it's just it is a choice. So you definitely need to tell that story so that other women who have no clue how do you do that? Like, how did you do it? That would be really inspiring.
At first I was afraid to talk about it because out of fear of, because I have to still deal with, their dad every day.
Mm-hmm.
But the stronger that I get, the more I realize it's not personal. It was fact. It is what it is. And these are the facts. This is my story. This is
Right.
my perception.
Mm-hmm.
So I will be writing a book someday, and I will, the healthier that I become, the freer I am to express it.
Yes.
But in the beginning, it is hard, but because you are it out of fear, because of their retaliation or what they might do or what they might say. But really, what do you have to lose? And then you also look at it, in order to be the best version of yourself, you have to let go of that pain, and you have to, they say, let go, just, you have to let it go, because you cannot move on to be your best self, your free self, to be abundant in all areas, if you're holding on so tightly to that hurt and that pain, and that, whether it's betrayal, whether it's affairs, whether it's, cheating or losing all that money or doing things behind your back that you weren't aware of, whatever it was that you felt hurt by, whether you want to stay in the marriage or whether you want to move on from it, you have to let it go.
Yes.
And there's forgiveness and there's forgetting. And there's books out there that teach you and show you the way to, forgive, even if you can't forget. But to truly let go, you have to get it out of your mind and truly kind of forget. And start to create a future based on your present day and not the past. Because if you keep thinking about the past, well, then that's going to be your future.
Oh, that's good. That is good. Yeah, and you know what? It's justified hurt too, and that's what makes it the worst and the hardest to shift. Is, if you really truly had been hurt, you want to feel angry and you want to feel, you don't want to forgive, but
no, you want to shout it from the mountaintops.
Right? Yeah, you know what this person did to me, but you can't. And so I love that you made that. It's because at the end of the day, it's a choice, and you chose your kids. And that's,
I see that in friendships too. I see, because this has happened to me, you treat employees with all the kindness and respect that you can. I've had employees that I've treated like family, completely betray me and leave, and not only leave, but they don't want a friendship. And to me, that's the most devastating. I wish them well. If they want a different path in their lives, that's good. While it's sad for me, I'll get over it. And then I try to, resume a friendship, and they want nothing to do with me. And that hurts because I think I really, truly cared about this person. I wasn't just saying all this is BS. I truly felt it. My organic, authentic self. I care about you still.
yes.
And so it's people sometimes call me way too sensitive, but I'm an empath, and the older I get, the more I'm appreciative of my role as an empath, because I can sense how other people are and how other people feel. But there's also a fine line, because you have to develop your boundaries too, to only allow those people in that are truly deserving and worthy, right? So I'm learning as I go along too. And I'm letting it all go, because you can't hold on to things that aren't truly yours to begin with. Right? So
maybe that's your book title, Letting It All Go. Who knows? Oh my gosh, I could seriously talk to you all day. Because I think that, and I think women that are listening now, and men too, of course, but women who are listening, working moms who, understand the dynamic where, we have a lot on our plates, but, as a single mom, especially that's just that much more. But I just love your story. And I think that it's definitely going to continue to inspire people. I do want to end with this though. So the show is The Power of Authority, and it is all about how, and what I mean by authority is the ability to impact other people's lives. That's all authority is when people want to listen to what you have to say. So 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and your law firm is continuing to be successful, what is your dream? What is your goal? Where would you like to see your business, your mission head in the next 5 to 10 years?
I would love to see the law firm, as you say, continuing to prosper and service millions of people. Mm-hmm. I would love my personal brand and when I say my personal brand, the motivational side and the coaching and the workshops really take off. I'd love to effectuate change in the courts across the nation. I really would. I think the family law, child custody, and support issues are definitely in desperate need of change.
Yes.
I would hope that I could help empower millions of lives and allowing people to live their best life. I truly, from a very young age, I've only wanted everyone to live their happiest, best self. Yeah. And I think life is so precious and it's way too short to spend on things that really, truly don't matter. And it might matter to them, to people. I don't want to sound like I'm judging anyone, but what really matters is living your best self, living authentically and being happy. And if that's a deep desire of yours, but you just don't know how to get there, then I can help. Yes. For those people that are content and they love their life, great. I'm so happy for them. I want everyone to live that. And I don't want anyone to feel resentful of the lot in life that they were served. Mm-hmm. I want to help to change that in someone if they truly want that change. You have to want it. Mm-hmm. It has to be a desire first. And then I'm the person to help get you there. And yes, I really want to touch millions of lives. And I think I can do that.
Oh, I know you're going to do that. I think you're already doing it without maybe even knowing. When people hear your story, I guarantee you they're feeling that. So how can people get a hold of you to talk to you about all this?
Michelle, they can find me at the Cronin Law Firm website, which is croninlawfirm.com. They can also find me on my personal site, which is sabrinashaheen.com. And that's Sabrinashaheen.com. That's my maiden name. So on the law firm, it's Sabrina Shaheen Cronin. I've kept Cronin because of the law firm and also because of my children.
Yes.
But for the personal brand, I went back to my maiden name. And I can be found on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, all the social media platforms, whether it's for the law firm or my personal brand. So I have both.
Okay, awesome. You're just amazing. And I'm so grateful for you to be on the show. And
I'm grateful for you that you had me. Thank you.
Yes, this is fun. And that's what this is all about, spotlighting people who are making a difference. You're doing good things, great things in business, but also it's about making a difference. So for those of you, just again, go to Sabrina Shaheen, SHAHEEN.com to learn more about how she can help you with any of the things that we talked about on the show. And then of course the law firm. But thank you again. And I will see you all next time on the Power of Authority Spotlight. Thanks so much for listening to the Power of Authority Spotlight. If you're a successful founder, entrepreneur, business owner, or leader that's getting results and making a difference, and you'd like to be on this program, please visit us at go.michelleprince.com/podcast-guest to apply. That's go.michelleprince.com/podcast-guest. Also, if you got something out of this interview, please share this episode. Just do a quick screenshot with your phone and text it to a friend or post it on the socials. If you know someone that would be a great guest, tag them on social media to let them know about the show and include the hashtag #ThePowerOfAuthoritySpotlight. I love seeing your posts and guest suggestions. We are regularly putting out new episodes and content, so make sure you don't miss any episodes by subscribing. Your thumbs up, ratings, and reviews go a long way to help promote the show and mean a lot to me and my team. Want to know more? Go to our website, michelleprince.com or performancepublishinggroup.com, or find me on social media. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.